And when I asked him how he did that, he said, "Hey, Bob, I was a developer for a long time. I knew the problems they were going to run into. They never hit an impediment because I got rid of it before they got there."
Oof.
That's what a Scrum Master can do for a team. It can really help with getting that efficiency and effectiveness up.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Real Agile or BS. I'm Peter with my great colleague and friend, Bob Hartman from Agile for All. We love answering all of your wonderful Agile and Scrum questions, and we have an interesting one today. This one is no Scrum Master on a development team, or actually, we won't even specify that. No Scrum Master on a team. Is that Real Agile or BS? I'm going to throw this over to Bob because I'm actually really curious about your thoughts on this. We haven't pre-talked about this at all. So I'm curious because I'll give a little bit of preamble. It makes me think that Scrum has taken over the world and that if you don't have a Scrum Master, you ain't doing Scrum. But I know that's not, or you're not, if you don't have a Scrum Master, you're not doing Agile. I know that's not true. But I'm curious, Bob, is not having a Scrum Master on a team real Agile or is it just BS?
Well, I think it depends on your definition of agility. And if you're using Scrum and you don't have a Scrum Master, then you're not doing Scrum. So I would say that's true. But if you don't have a Scrum Master, can you still be doing Agile? I think you absolutely can. There's many flavors of Agile out there, extreme programming and others that don't have the Scrum Master role. I think they have the people who do the things a Scrum Master would do. I think having a Scrum Master can help you be more successful with Agile, or at least having somebody do those things. But because there's so many Agile methodologies and frameworks out there that don't use a Scrum Master, I think not having one can still be real Agile. If you're talking about Scrum, without a Scrum Master, can you still be Agile? Yes. Can you be doing Scrum? No. So I think it's a wording nuance there more than anything else. But having said that, if you don't have the functions of a Scrum Master happening where you have someone responsible for the health of the team, responsible for making sure the team understands the framework they're using, make sure that they're getting impediments taken care of. If you don't have somebody doing those things, you're going to be less successful. So is it a good idea not to have the accountabilities of a Scrum Master? No. Can you be real Agile with it, without it? I suppose yes. Can you ever reach your potential? I would say probably not. So I think it's a bad idea, but I don't think I think it's real. I think it's BS that it's a requirement.
I'm in complete alignment with you. And I think the thing that's rising up in my gut around this idea is that there's so many, let's just say there's a lot of people out there who associate or combine Agile and Scrum together. And that it's not the wrong thinking, but I would say it's an immature way of thinking about Agile and Scrum, right? So Agile is, and we talk about this in our classes to our clients and students, right? Agile is the overall umbrella, right? It's the worldview, it's the way of thinking, it's a philosophy of sorts, right? And Agile itself doesn't actually tell us how to do anything. It's more around how we should think and how we should approach the problems that we have. Whereas Scrum is more of a framework in which we can pick and choose which facets of that framework work contextually well within our organization. And a big part of Scrum is obviously having a Scrum Master, an entity that acts as a Scrum Master, whose job is to, just like you said, help the team, ensure that impediments are removed, which is probably one of the biggest things that a Scrum Master is doing, so that the team can create and produce value. But I would say, just like you've talked about here, is that not having a Scrum Master doesn't make you not Agile. However, the roles, and I think this is really important, the role of a Scrum Master is absolutely, in my experience, absolutely imperative. With the clients that I've worked with all the way from big corporate to DoD to government, all the way down to startups, I have found that an effective Scrum Master, I don't want to go too far, but don't want to make Scrum Masters' heads too big here. But I truly believe that an effective Scrum Master is a game changer in any organization. They really allow the value stream to actually be realized, right? Because in many cases, no one's looking at the value stream. No one's looking at those constraints, those dependencies, those blockers that the team has been yelling about for years, right? I was talking with one client, actually a student in a class, and we were talking about this, the old trope of your QA environment doesn't match development, doesn't match prod. It's like, I always ask the question, like, how many of you guys are dealing with this? And everyone's hand goes up. How long have you been dealing? For years. Like, this is something that a Scrum Master can effectively change and effectively help the organization remove that constraint, remove that blocker. So having the role and having the responsibilities of a Scrum Master absolutely will make you far more agile. But having the title and the specific entity of a Scrum Master, maybe not absolutely required to be agile. So I'm with you here. I think you can absolutely be agile without a Scrum Master, but those roles and responsibilities and the accountability, I think you absolutely need to be at the highest level of agility. Would you agree, Bob?
I agree. I'm going to give you one really quick story because I know we're pressed for time today, Peter, but I had a client that didn't have Scrum Masters. And so on one of the teams, their best developer volunteered to be the Scrum Master. And I asked him why. He said, I think even though I'm the best developer on the team, I get the most done, I think me helping others be successful will actually raise the level of our team. So imagine you're on a team and you take your best developer off the team. Now they're a Scrum Master. They're not going to write any code. That team's productivity went up by 50%. And when I asked him how he did that, he said, hey, Bob, I was a developer for a long time. I knew the problems they were going to run into. They never hit an impediment because I got rid of it before they got there.
Oof.
That's what a Scrum Master can do for a team. It can really help with getting that efficiency and effectiveness up.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Well, everyone out there, our subscribers, our followers, hey, you have opinions. Let us know in the comments below. Obviously, like and subscribe. But if you'd like to have even a deeper conversation, we have a wonderful new site, a community site that you can find at agileforall.com. Check it out. You can obviously ask us questions at any time or give us some rebuttals to some of our ideas in these videos. But again, we love your engagement. Feel free to check out agileforall.com for our new community site, as well as tweet this out, smash the like button, and we'll see you guys on the next one. All righty.